Hey, North Carolina. This is gorgeous. Oh, come on, guys. Is this a conservative movement or am I at an Obama convention? There we go. I want to talk to you about something that I never thought was going to happen. When I came back to the United States, I was born here and grew up in Israel. When I came back to the United States in 1981, I applied at various law enforcement agencies with the hopes of specializing in counterterrorism. During an interview with a government agency, the interviewer laughed at me out loud, and he said, "This is America, we don't have terrorism." I said, "Wait 10 years and remember the word jihad." And of course, he looked at me like I had a couple of heads. He had no idea what I was talking about, which unfortunately they still don't. I was called an alarmist, a nut, and a racist, even though Islam isn't a race. But that was, of course, before the term Islamophobe was invented. Now, I knew terror would come to our shores and that it was only a matter of time. But I never thought, what I never expected, was that our government here in the United States and its agencies would be infiltrated at the highest levels by the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, the Muslim Brotherhood's motto is Allah is our objective, the Prophet is our leader, the Quran is our law, jihad is our way, dying in the way of Allah is our highest hope, Allahu Akbar. Some of those right now that are currently serving in this administration that are Muslim Brotherhood operatives, and I have their names here, but rather than choking myself, I'm just going to give you their titles. The Assistant Secretary for Policy Development for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, a Homeland Security Advisor to the President, a Special Envoy to the Organization of the Islamic Conference, Obama's advisor and founder of Muslim Public Affairs Council, and still currently its executive director, Obama's Sharia czar, and yes, he actually does have a Sharia czar, and also he's from the Islamic Society of North America, and the Advisory Council on Faith-Based Neighborhood Partnerships. All these people are currently serving in the current administration. They are all Muslim Brotherhood operatives. In 2004, these microphones are in a really bad place. In 2004, an internal Muslim Brotherhood document was seized by the FBI in Virginia from a top Muslim Brotherhood operative, Muhammad Akram. The 18-page document was dated 1991, and it was even used as evidence in the largest terror funding trial in the United States history, the U.S. versus Holy Land Foundation. It's titled Memorandum on the General Strategic Goal for the Brotherhood in North America. Now, before I read part of it, I want you to understand that the word in Arabic for brotherhood is ikhwan. One of the main points in this document reads as follows, quote, "The ikhwan must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers so that it is eliminated and God's religion is made victorious over all other religions." The Brotherhood must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad. This is what we have right now in the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, and from local law enforcement to as high as the Assistant Secretary for Policy Development for Homeland Security, as well as one of President Obama's advisors. This Muslim Brotherhood document that I mentioned lists 29 like-minded organizations of our friends that share the goal of making the United States friendly to the Brotherhood's Islamist objectives by, quote, presenting Islam as a civilization alternative. Among those organizations working with the Muslim Brotherhood today, and mentioned in that list, is the Muslim Students Association and the Islamic Society of North America. Now, you need to understand the Muslim Students Association, the MSA, currently has more chapters in universities across the United States than there are Democratic and Republican chapters combined. Another one of their friends to achieve the same goal is CAIR, the Council on American-Islamic Relations. In 1998, the founder of CAIR, Omar Ahmed, stated, and I quote, "Islam isn't in America to be equal to any other faith, but to become dominant. And the Quran, the Muslim book of Holy Scripture, should be the highest authority in America, and Islam the only accepted religion on earth." The Muslim Brotherhood is committed to doing away with our democratic republic government and its individual freedoms. And its goal is to ultimately have Islamic supremacy that seeks to govern every aspect of our social life, the economic, financial, social, political, family, and dietary, as well as issues of crime and punishment and even matters of hygiene. This is known as the Sharia system or Islamic law. Sharia is not compatible with the Constitution. Let me say that again. Sharia is not compatible with the Constitution. Muslims believe that the law only comes from Allah, and they do not recognize man-made law. The dream of an Islamist conquest of the West by infiltration from within, as stated in their motto. The future they want only has one obstacle in the way: the American Constitution. Freedom of speech, equality between men and women, and equality between Muslims and non-Muslims. This is why neutralizing America and its foreign policy is their obsession. The infiltration of the Muslim Brotherhood in law enforcement and the government shows the success of the Brotherhood in its stealth jihad against the United States. This stealth jihad works slowly through social, cultural, and political institutions rather than flying planes into buildings or blowing up the Boston Marathon, but it ultimately has the same goal: destroying the American society. The motivation for those who want to terrorize us with violence comes from the teachings of the Wahhabi and Salafist mullahs. But the political strategy is all provided by the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is not a largely secular organization, as stated by then Director of National Intelligence James Clapper. It is not moderate. It is a revolutionary, ideological mass movement. They are sophisticated, patient, and determined. They've spent the last 85 years building their reserves, seating America and the West with its representatives, and biding their time. Because of their successes in the Middle East with the so-called Arab Spring, and then the fall of Egypt's President Morsi, we here in America should expect an even greater push from the Muslim Brotherhood and their operatives. And on a side note, Egypt's Kharit el-Shatter, the #2 man in the Muslim Brotherhood hierarchy, claims that he has evidence that President Obama is a Muslim Brotherhood operative. Given the evidence of Islamist ties and sympathies, Representatives Michelle Bachmann, Louis Gohmert, Trent Franks, Lynn Westmoreland, and Tom Rooney were all 100% right to have asked for a review by the Inspector Generals of State, Justice, Defense, and Homeland Security Departments, and of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. We all here must contact our representatives, because the only question is why to date none of their colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans, have supported them by demanding a full congressional investigation of this clear and present security danger that not only threatens our government, but Western civilization itself. Thank you.